All right, guys, I'm really excited. This is the Wuben X4, and I'm trying to figure out, can this replace the SureFire 6PX Pro as my secondary carry / reach out and touch someone / bright, reliable light? This is a good light. I've been testing it in the real world, out at the campsite. We're going to get some video of this out in the dark at the campsite, how it'll reach out into the woods and provide a wall of light with the spotlight. This is an innovative, awesome light, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So it's just, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and flip the, so we're going to do a bunch today, right? We're going to flip the camera around. We're going to kind of go over the features of it. And then we're going to cut to some of those shots from the campsite in the dark, lighting up the woods and showing just some of the really awesome features of the Wuben X4. Then we're going to talk about Wuben and can this $50 light replace what is probably one of the standards, one of the gold standards, the 6PX Pro, a light that is 2 to 3 times as much as it is. I think you're going to be as surprised as I am at the results. So let's go ahead and flip that camera around and get into it, because man, this is such a cool little light. So hope you guys join me and enjoy this. Okay guys, so this is the Wuben X4, and this little light, I tell you what, this is a very, so let's get started. Just from the outset, this is a very well built light. Just like the G5, I'm very impressed with the build quality. This is all aluminum. It is IP68 waterproof rated, so it can go down a little bit. And it's a very intuitive design now that I've had some time to use it. So let's kind of talk through that a bit. The first thing I want to point out is if you look up at the head, and I hope my camera's zooming in okay, because sometimes that's kind of not the greatest feature of the GoPro, but you'll see it's got multiple emitters. This is what makes this thing so interesting, especially when we go to some of those night shots that you're going to see, because it provides, you got your spot, you got floods, and you got all these different emitters that provide literally a wall of light. It reaches out and touches someone and illuminates the woods around you. It is just staggering. You'll notice on the side, it also has multiple emitters on the side. There's some white emitters. We're going to talk about those. And there's an RGB emitter. And then just going around the light. The thing to keep in mind, it is powered by a single 18650. Wuben includes this. This is a rechargeable. So you can, take one with you as a spare. That's a great feature. But just some of the controls on it. So I'm not going to go super in depth on this, right? Because there's a billion features of this light, but I'm going to talk about the things that I've used and that I've found have been intuitive and fantastic about this light. So you'll see on the side you have multiple different modes, right? You have your side emitter. So right now, and this is what's nice about the X4s as well as the G5, is it remembers what mode you're in. We're going to get more into this later, but this is a nice usable red light if you're out somewhere, right? So that's kind of nice. But you hold down the side button and it'll switch to a white emitter that you can use the side wheel to control the brightness of it. So that's really cool. And again, it's going to remember that setting. Now, another thing that it has, and this is going to go ahead and go to the main emitter, which we'll go ahead and see now. We're up pretty bright. So we're going to pull it down, and then you can kind of see those emitters, and you can kind of see how that wheel changes everything. But here's a cool party trick of the X4. On the back, you'll see this tail cap, right? This is something I love because, bam, anytime, any mode you're in, except for moonlight at the top, any mode you're in, you can hit that and it's going to give you immediately your 1500 lumen mode, which is fantastic for having around. Because like the 6PX Pro, you have to hit the button twice. So I'm gonna have to hit it twice to get into my it doesn't necessarily remember. So if I was in my low mode before, I'm going to have to hit that button twice to go. Whereas with this one, I just flip that on and I know I immediately have it. So that's amazing. And number two, like I can't just get over how good of a feature that is. And I've really enjoyed using it because of that. Especially out at the campsite where I can just go, bam, I want to see something. I got that. Or I can go back to my normal emitter and it saves what mode I'm in. So if I want to keep the normal emitter setting it low for walking around at night, and then that's great. Now, another feature it has that I really, really enjoyed when I was out, and this came in really handy, is when you flip it up to the top to the moonlight, and you'll see it does have a USB Type-C for charging. This moonlight mode, any button you hit, it's going to put that in that 15 lumen low mode. No matter if you hit, whatever you hit, it's doing that, okay? So that is a great feature when you have it around the tent. Because what I used to do is I used to have my 6PX, when I'm in the tent, when I'm sleeping, I'd have laying next to me, I'd have my 6PX Pro, and then I'd have my headlamp. Because the headlamp I'd normally use for looking around the tent, and I'd always have that, on its low mode so that I hit it. Whereas the SureFire's lowest mode is still a little bright for me in the middle of the night. The Wuben fixes that, because then I can leave it in this, and then I have that ability for that moonlight mode. Or that's what the nice thing about I found out this mode was as well, is for walking around the tent. I can hang this up at the top of my tent, and then I have a nice light. And this belt clip is legit. And you can remove it if you want to. There's 2 screws, you can remove it. So if you want to just carry it and not have that, that's a possibility as well. That's what I really like about the Wuben. It's a fantastically well-built light. Now we're going to do a size comparison, and we're going to talk about the one that won me over for Wuben was the G5. Now this also does have the magnetic base, just like the G5 does. Okay, so it does have a magnet on it, but you'll kind of see the size comparison, right? So the G5 obviously is a lot smaller light. Okay, that's just how it is. And I apologize for the shadow. I do record outside because, well, that's what I do. So sometimes we can't control Mother Nature. So the G5, if you can see, the G5 is tiny. So it became where I was carrying for the last, 2 months now, the G5 and the 6PX Pro. I have a couple of these. One of these lives in a safe. This is the one that comes with me. This will either stay in a bag or stay in the center console of my truck for when I need to reach out, right? Because the G5, fantastic light. It's just the emitter size doesn't allow it to really, reach out like these lights do. It's just it's a trade-off with the size, right? And I've always had that. I've always had a little light and then a bigger one with me. Now, the question is this going to replace this for that reach out and touch someone light? Yes, absolutely, 110%. It's already over for that. I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm a big I bought my first SureFire light over 20 years ago in the 6P. I've had a lot of SureFires, and I've enjoyed a lot of SureFires. The 6PX Pro is probably one of my favorites. But again, there's a couple problems with it that we run into with some of these older lights, or some lights like this, is that number one, it uses 123As, which are expensive. Number two, the design of the Wuben, the interface of the Wuben, especially the X4, is so intuitive, because like with this, I have to pull it out to, like, if I don't want it to turn on, I have to get it out to its, I have to unscrew it to its lockout mode, right? So that I'm not accidentally turning it on in my bag. But then when I go to use it, that means I have to turn it on. Whereas with the Wuben, I just keep it down here and lock, and then if I need a bright light, I know I can grab it, just flick that on, and bam, I have that. Okay, that is so nice. I can't get over how much of a nice feature that is, because like I said, when I'm in the tent, I left it next to me like this, but the nice part about it is I only had to have one light next to me, because I'd leave it next to me in that mode, and knowing that if I really needed, if something went bump outside and I wanted to know, flip it down one, and there we go. Okay, it's a very intuitive user interface. So we're going to go ahead, and now we're going to cut to some of those night shots and show you what this thing does at night, and then we're going to come back around and talk about Wuben the company and my experience with them so far, what I have to say about Wuben, and my final thoughts on the light. Now we are out at the campsite with the Wuben X4, and let me tell you what, here is the big thing that it's got. When I flip to any of the modes except for moonlight at the top, and I want to light something up, I hit that tail cap, bam, I've got a absolute wall of light that throws. I mean, we're sitting down there. If you see down where I'm throwing down there, that is a heck of a lot of distance that I can see with this light, with just hitting that tail cap. That's just such an amazing feature. Okay, so we got that. Now we also got the red mode for the side light, which is, we can adjust, RGB if you want to get crazy with the party. But here's what's fun. This is that side light, and this is great for a tent. So I could hang this up at the top of my tent, and I can adjust that up all the way, that side white light, and I'm getting some really great usable light in my tent. That's fantastic. Next mode, we're going to go to the main light, and it again remembers where I had it last, so I keep it kind of in this medium, but I can crank that up all the way and it's going to blink when I hit the top, or I can bring her all the way down and it's going to blink when I hit all the way down. But I love this thing. At the top we have the moonlight mode, which any button you hit, it's going to put it in moonlight. Side button, tail cap instant is going to give you the full, but your side button is just going to give you that moonlight mode, which is just fantastic. Oops, I'm sorry. There we go. There's moonlight mode again. Keep hitting it, but yeah, tail cap, moonlight. Just a fantastic light. So, and in comparison, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try. So we're going to go ahead and bring her down, and we're going to throw that down there. That is the Wuben X4, okay? And the X4 just blows it away. Just absolutely unbelievable. So let's go back to the review and talk some more about it. Okay, so as you saw in those nighttime shots, I am extremely impressed with this light. Will it, and I've already given it away, is it going to replace this as my secondary carry / in the truck light, whatever? Yes, absolutely. I'll probably just keep this around as a backup, but this is the one I'm going to be reaching for. Now I say secondary carry because this is obviously right now my pocket EDC. I love this light. The G5. If you don't have one for $25, get one. That is my primary. Where I say secondary is I'll use examples like when I go camping, or when the weather gets colder here, when it starts getting darker earlier, and I'm wearing pants and stuff. This is probably going to be my primary EDC. That's kind of what happens, and that's what I like about the size as compared to the 6PX Pro. It's a lot easier to throw this in a pocket than it is this. Another example: in a couple weeks, I'm going up to Wisconsin to visit family. Staying at a hotel, but it'll be at places, and one of them lives in a very rural area, no light pollution. It gets very dark there. This is going to be in my pocket because when I'm walking back out to the truck at night, I can know that at any point I can just, if I hear something, I grab that and bam, I have that wall of light that I'm going to reach out, not only reach out, but I'm going to get that flood to light everything up. That is what just blows me away about this thing. Everything blows me away about it, but that's probably my favorite feature about it. So for $50, this is if you're looking for a light like this, if you already have a G5 and you want something with a little bit more oomph to it, then yes, absolutely. Buy the X4. I'm probably going to be getting another one. I'm going to say it. I'm going to get one on my own dime. And that's what I want to mention right now. This video is sponsored by Wuben. Wuben did send me this light. There was no money that exchanged hands, nothing else. They sent me this light. And I want to talk about that for a second. Wuben as a company, has been fantastic to work with. As a very small creator that's just new, often you'll get companies that'll send you something or send you an email saying, hey, we want to send you this product, and we want you to review it, and then a couple different things will happen in there. A lot of times I don't respond because it's not something I'm interested in. I am only going to review stuff given to me that I would normally buy myself, right? So the $150 laser rangefinder, no, I'm not, as much as that's a cool little gimmick, I'm not going to review it because I'm never going to use it. So thank you for the company that offered it to me. That's why I never responded. Wuben on the other end, so that's one thing you'll get. And other times you'll get companies saying, we want you to do this, this, and this, and this in your review. No, that's never going to happen with me. You're never going to dictate what I say. I'm going to always give an honest review because that's how I roll. I hate that stuff. I've bought too many products that have been recommended that have been junk for me to ever do that. Wuben is different. Wuben as a company, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I want to talk about Wuben as a company. So I've had companies that I've gotten burned several times by companies that'll reach out and say, we're going to send you this thing. We go down the road. And then all of a sudden they ghost me and I never hear anything. I've already had the content planned, right? I've already had the videos planned and been excited. Wuben is the exact opposite. When they sent me this, after the review went up, the guy I'm working with there, he said, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for the review. I'd like to send you the X4, which is the bigger one. I'm like, Well, that's cool because I was probably going to buy one anyway because I was so impressed with this that I wanted the big brother. What's funny is they shipped it when the box got here. I opened it up and it wasn't the X4, it was a different product that you'll see next week when it actually is officially revealed. So you'll see that next Friday. I'm really excited for you guys to see it because it's great and it's only $24. Like, just a great product. But I got it and I'm like, I opened up the package and I looked and I realized that it was a misship. And I sent to my rep, I said, hey, I just want to let you know that I got the box, and just as a heads up, it wasn't the X4, it was the other thing. And no complaints from me. This is great. I actually love this type of product, and I've been looking for a newer one. And you know, if you want me to send it back, that's cool. You just let me know. Immediately reply back with, hey, just no worries at all. I want you to keep that one, review it. Just please, know that the release date is this date, and please, put your review out then. But I'm going to go ahead and send you an X4 as well. Are you serious? So I have had nothing, and I've talked to other creators that have had the same experience with Wuben. I've had nothing but excellent experience with Wuben as a company. They don't tell us what to say. Every review you're going to see on a Wuben product, they've been given the light, but the company hasn't said, say this, this, and this. There's also no money exchange in hands. If you do go down the links below, like the Amazon, it is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anymore. I just get a little money back from Amazon. Same thing from Wuben. It's an affiliate link on their site. I get a little kickback if you buy it from there. Appreciate it. You don't have to use it. Go buy it wherever you want to. But that is what I really like about Wuben. I've been turned off by several companies that initially I'll go, okay, this is cool, and then they reply back with certain things. Like, I've even had an offer of a paid review, and that's not going to happen. Okay, that's just not something I'm interested in. In fact, I don't think that one ever would have happened because I think they just blast out emails. But I've kind of rambled on here for a few minutes. The summary is this: when you buy this for $50, you're getting an excellent light with a ton of reach that's USB-C rechargeable, that's IP68 waterproof, that will give you that wall of light that not only is the wall of light, but it reaches out just as far as a SureFire. And the build quality, I mean, it is right up there. I've dropped this a couple times and it still looks brand new. So yes, I'm buying myself another one, and just like the G5, I'm very impressed with what Wuben has done here. It gets a very high recommendation for me, and I hope you'll take a look. If that's a little bit too much to stomach price-wise, look at my review of the G5. This thing for $25, if you go outdoors, you should have one. This is just such a great little light, even if you don't go outdoors. When I was in the office working IT, and as a network engineer, this would have been a great, perfect light to have as I was out in the field. So either one of these lights, Wuben knocked it out of the park. That's my review. That's my summary. And if you want to see more reviews on this, I've linked a couple of my buddies down below. Chris from BarnYard Outdoors and Whitty from Whitty's Gear Review. They both did excellent in-depth reviews of the X4 and the G5 and other Wuben products. So go ahead and check those guys out. Also linked down in the description, I'm going to say it, our local animal rescues and animal shelters here in the southeastern Nebraska and Kansas area. They would love your help, be it money, time, and or better yet, adopting a new best friend. But if you have a local animal rescue, animal shelter, do that for them. Support them instead. As much as I love everybody to support our local ones, please support your local, or to support ours here, please support your local animal rescue and animal shelter. And finally, while you're down there, I'd love to have you come back. My name is Ben. This is Big Ben's Outdoors. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and so I can keep bringing you stuff like this that I really think is cool. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you next week with another really cool Wuben product. I'm excited. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Talk to you then.